All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Sports Esports Podcast. I'm your host, William, and with me today I have Brock.
Yeah,
And Brian is not with us. He's just upset that Vitality lost. No.
I can see that.
Nah, his girlfriend just came back from out of town. But, yeah, this was this. I realized I titled this episode Semifinals, but it's technically quarterfinals, right? Like,
I
because
think so.
EU's weird, where it's quarterfinals, then quarterfinals again, then semifinals, then finals, because of the design. So I'll just probably put quarterfinals again in the YouTube, but whatever. We'll just keep going. So this week was kind of crazy. Not really, but we'll get right into the games right away. First off was Fnatic versus Vitality, if you can say that even.
I don't think you
This
can.
This was not a series. Like I said, Fnatic was going to win this one 3-1, in the regards that Mowgli will be able to get Cabochard ahead at one time, and that they would be able to steal a game like that. They tried. I mean, I can't say, oh, they didn't. They threw away their win condition for the whole season. They tried to do that. It just didn't work at all. Like holy crap.
Yeah, it really didn't.
First game, 19-8, complete blowout. Bwipo had that nasty play up in top lane. Cabochard on the Lucian, don't like the pick. I get it's pretty strong in the gangplank, but I need some Lucian. I don't like Lucian top, to be honest. Maybe it's because I just hate it personally as a tank player, but I feel like you need something more from your top laner if you're gonna have uh Tulia and a Ezreal already in the game. You already have kind of like marksman. You kind of need a bruiser in the lineup, in my opinion, at least. I love how I don't even say you need a tank in the lineup anymore. That's how sad it is. Luckily, tank meta coming back in 9.7. Woo! Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe, maybe.
I don't. I don't necessarily mind the Lucian pick because
It does
the
kind of
only
game.
tank that Fnatic had was Alistar.
Lissandra's pretty damn tank. But yeah, yeah.
Which, yeah, but she's only tanky considering her ult gives her health back.
hmm
Um, so it wasn't bad, but even though it's not a bad pick, I'm like you. I don't like the pick necessarily. Because again, like I've said on many podcasts, and we've kind of both said it, I don't like picking something just because it counters something else. Because just because it counters it, that's not to say it's going to do well.
hmm
And even this went 2-1-3. That's not what you expect out of a counter pick.
Yeah, you expect to do a
And
lot more.
yeah, and he definitely didn't shut down Rippo.
No, not at all. Bwipo, though he almost flame horizoned him. Now I realized, but yeah, Bwipo was only 500 gold behind at the end of the day, and he
Yeah,
made some sick outplays. To Bwipo's credit, he the one play under tower, amazing, where he stopwatched at like one tick of health left, and then
oh yeah,
got the Karth assaulted Lucian. Oh man, that was
yeah,
fantastic. And then Mowgli entered because Jack Troll entered for Mowgli. Like yeah, that whole play was a mess, and that pretty much the whole series for Vitality was a mess. But yeah, that
yeah.
was a very interesting first game. Reckless popped off on the Vayne, like just absolutely killed it. Broxa crushed it in the jungle, and even Jizuka had a terrible game on the Talia. I don't like the Talia pick either too much. I don't think she's too strong at the moment, and we haven't seen Jizuke's Talia too much. I'm sure they did it in scrims and stuff, but like I'd rather have seen, if you're gonna go off meta, like give him Echo, which I had to look over, wasn't bad. But if it's off meta, maybe go Echo. I know it's not the strongest matchup into Lissandra, but it has the wave clear to be able to compete with Lissandra at least.
Yeah.
And I've seen his Echo is fantastic.
And he also has an ult that gives him health back, just like Sandra's does.
Yeah, if you're gonna go off meta, I don't see how Talia really fits too much into this. I mean, she fits really well to Jarvan, to be honest, but I don't know. I just don't like the pick. I don't think it's a very strong pick at the moment, especially going into something as meta as Lissandra.
Yeah, and the pick is like for me what I would say as someone who plays mid lane, so I kind of know a little bit why things are picked, but it's the same thing as top lane. It's the same thing as picking Lucian top. You're picking this because it does something. Like you want this Talia to shove in and you want to roam.
hmm
Jizuke went 2-7.
Yeah, it's not doing your job.
That's not good. No, that's not what you want out of your roamer.
No.
But you know who, and you pick that, again, same as Lucian, you pick that to counter your champion, which Tanya doesn't counter Lissandra. She's just going to shove Lissandra earlier than Lissandra's going to shove her.
Yeah, exactly. You're just trying to
guess
counter
what
her roaming
Lissandra,
problem.
Yeah. And guess what Lissandra did? Went 2-2-13.
Yeah, they had.
I don't think Nemesis had a problem.
No, and even in game number 2, they also had Lissandra and Karthus again. They put Bwipo on the Aatrox this time instead of the Gangplank. And you had Reckless on a Hypercarry with Kaisa. And you had a Till on the Hypercarry. He didn't do great. He went 1-3 on the Tristana. Did start out really well for Vitality, I will say that. They got 2 kills right away at the beginning of the game by 2 minutes. They were already up 2-0, but after that, they really, outside of a Rift Herald and a few towers, they really didn't do anything with those kills early on, and they just let Fnatic scale up with the Karthus. And Karthus is disgustingly good at scaling up, even in the jungle.
Yeah.
Still, even though we hate it, he's still good.
I hate when it works. Every time a Karthus shot was picked, I just want the feed so I can just say, look, we proved the point here. But no, he had to go 4-1-7 and slap us in the face.
Yep. And then, I mean, there's barely any recap on this because these games were just straight blowouts. Look at this next game. This game was over from the beginning. You have 3. I mean, I sound like a surrender person with that. I never surrender games. Just want to clarify that. But 3 kills by 6 minutes on the Sivir.
I would like to clarify that he does not surrender games.
I haven't surrendered a game in like 5 years. I have voted no on every single surrender vote.
And I have been in those games while we're down 30 kills to 2.
Never surrender.
No, our group of people are known for just dragging games out when we shouldn't, and that's not a good thing.
We love it.
It's not okay.
I love it. We come back and we win some of those games. It's the best. It's the best feeling in League when you're down like 10K and you come back and win. That's what I play League for. I'd rather not be down 10K, but
I was about to say, I don't know. I don't think I want to be down 10K.
I'd rather not be down 10K, but when you are and you win that game, because you're always going to be at some point. Those are great games. This game didn't work out so well because the team that got ahead had Sivir Kale. I was gonna say Callista, but Sivir Kale. That's not good.
No, that's the real. Nemesis popped off on the Kale.
Yeah, Jizuke was trying his best solo queue Yasuo at 0-6. He hit that 0-6 power spike at least, but it wasn't enough to stop the Nemesis's Kale, who got a pentakill in this game. By the way, at the very end of the game wasn't even close. I mean, like I said, the whole way, 22 minutes. This is what I mean by these like 3 kills at the beginning by 6 minutes. 6 minutes is like 33% of this game.
They had more kills than they had minutes in the game.
Yeah, exactly. It was such a huge blowout. Just it capped the whole series. We really thought, I thought that Vitality would get their ass kicked in the series. They looked, like I said, coming into the playoffs, like the worst team in playoffs. But I still expected something from Cabochard, at least being able to pop off. He didn't have anything. But in his defense, I think Jizuke had a terrible series against Nemesis.
Oh, it was awful. Speaking of Jizuke, I'm going to give him a little bit of props for this 0-6 game, because my man full committed to that Infinity Edge. He didn't build Sterix Gauge. He didn't buy the Frozen Mallet.
He didn't build the Infinity Edge.
No. That's what he's building.
He's going for it. He's going for it.
He's committed to that Infinity Edge.
He's not at 2 items by 22 minutes on a pro game.
I've given him props for just still going for it. Good job on you, Suzuki.
He's hoping to hit that 0-6 Yasuo power spike, man.
That's what happens.
It's like once you hit that, then you win the game. That's how it's supposed to go. Didn't go like that in professional.
Oh, see, that's even better. Look at that. The game ended at 21 minutes, 53 seconds. At 21 minutes, 23 seconds, he bought the Cloak of Agility.
Nice.
So even at the very end of the game, he's committed to that Infinity Edge.
Yeah, to get that extra crit.
Yep. I mean, he could have bought a stopwatch maybe to stop from dying. Nope, he's going for that 20% crit chance.
Mm-hmm. No, I hate, by the way, playing Jhin, Yasuo. That win wall. I don't have many shots to be wasting shots like that. Just saying. The game I just played before, we won, but that That bothered me in some team fights. It shot 2 shots through the wall. I'm like,
Yeah, you hate to see that.
it's 50% of my damage right there. Oh man. Next we had that was the whole series, by the way. That was
Yeah, that was
really
it.
it was a really bad series. It was boring as shit to watch, and I was at work and I was so upset because it started at 1 o'clock. So I'm like, all right, as long as this thing goes 4 games like I predicted, I'll be able to watch the whole thing at work. The games not only were 3-0, but they ended so quickly that I still had like an hour and a half to do work, like real work. You know, like what? Like I mean, not that I wasn't doing work while watching, but you know,
Sure.
yeah, sure. Dude, I have nothing to do. Anyway, but yeah, I was doing real work while watching, but it wasn't like I still like to watch. Let's just say that it's more fun.
I can see that.
Second series was SK versus Splice, and this game was what? They don't have the gold here. Oh, I was gonna say, wasn't this game like a throw by Splice if I remember correctly? They had the Urgot jungle. I love it. I don't like it personally. I suck at jungle. I think that's more. I think I suck more at jungle than really. I like Urgot, but I'm not good enough to jungle with him. And self-made, he had a fantastic series or game at 3-0-11. I will not say series. Crown Shot though popped off on the Ezreal at 9-4-7, and this game was a nice comeback for SK. They were struggling for quite a bit. Werlib was struggling on the Hecarim pick until the end. I thought, if I'm remembering this game correctly. It was more towards the end where they just picked off some really good team fights. They had a really bad laning phase and even gave up a Baron to Splice, but after a while, they just picked 2 great team fights, I believe, 2 or 3, and then they just won the game. And that's all it takes, you know? Sometimes if you just get a good ace with the minion wave pushing, you can just push right through 30 seconds. Towers are paper right now. Towers are made of paper if you have, especially if Ezreal.
Yep.
Next game was Splice coming back. That game actually worried me because Splice had lost so many late game team fights. I'm like, what is happening? This isn't the Splice we know.
Oh no.
But they did come back next game, the 46-minute game. Jesus Christ, Splice. Kabe popped off, humanoid. That's what they were built for, though. You know, Vizichache had some fantastic Kennen ults. Werlib did nothing on the Karma. I do not like the Karma top at the moment in this meta. I think it's completely pointless because Karma top, in my opinion, is really good at poking out tanks. You want to know what's not in the meta? Tanks. I think having a bruiser or someone like a Kennen, like a good team fighting AoE, like Kennen and Vlad, is so much more superior in team fights now compared to having Karma there.
Yeah.
Though, to be fair, they did have how did they get this lead, by the way? Riddle me this. You see that they're up here, that like 26 minutes here, and then they... Okay, it must just be delayed, because they give up 4 kills in a Baron, and then the lead ticks up for the other team. the team that gave up the 4 kills in the Baron. Like, what? Could also be a gold graph thing where it didn't update in time, but it immediately plummeted, as you can tell. And SK lost this game, self-made. Weirdly, I don't know what he's talking about. He didn't listen to himself in this game. He went 4 items in Merc Treads before his unique item that we will get to soon on his Rek'Sai. But yeah, Crown Shot on the Ashe Tahm Kench, I thought it worked okay, but it didn't work well enough to stop Kobe and North Garen. I said Kobe, I meant Kabe.
Yeah.
Kobe.
I was like, who's that? I feel
Kobe
like
is
an NA announcer.
NA announcer. Kabe, on the other hand, popped off on Vel'Koz.
Very off. On Vel'Koz? Not Vel'Koz, it was
Xayah, but no,
I would like to have seen him on Vel'Koz.
Talking about the next game. They did pop off on Vel'Koz. 1-0-3, you're like, oh, that's not a pop off. It's freaking Vel'Koz in the bot lane. You don't see that too often.
I really don't.
10k damage though? I love that. I think they dominate that bot lane. Where I know it is Jinx, to be fair, but actually I really like the idea of Vel'Koz with Tahm Kench. I think that Tahm Kench can protect a lot of Vel'Koz's weaknesses of being an immobile mage, and if you are facing an immobile ADC like Jinx. And Jinx is somewhat immobile, not too bad, but like more so than a lot. No dashes, and But if you get the knock up on her with the Vel'Koz and you just like spam your ult in there, that's gonna hurt an ADC really bad. So it's really just surviving that early game, and that's what Tom Kench helps with. You can just eat him up and save him. Where then you also had Xerxes popping off on the Rek'Sai and getting a 4-2 and getting all of his lanes ahead decently early. This wasn't many kills in this game, by the way. It was 8-3. It was I don't think actually he didn't get any kills early. I lied. He didn't get a single kill until the very end, where he got a triple kill. And then, so never mind. He wasn't helping his. Well, he was helping his lanes, but not in the sense of getting kills.
Yeah.
They give up 2 Infernals, but outside that, Splice just out macroed SK like crazy this game and didn't let them scale up with the Jinx, because they would have been able to get this game to 40-some minutes. This is the most anti-Splice game I've ever seen, by the way. They didn't want a 40-minute game for the first time in their life. They had to go against Azir Jinx in a 40-minute game. You do not want that. And they somehow, surprisingly, were able to shut it down. Look at that. Just an instant team fight win there, and then they won. 26 minutes.
Also, the Ludens on Azir, I don't know if that's a thing that's like new, but I don't think I've ever built Ludens on Azir.
The mana and ability power is just insane on Ludens. I think it's a very strong item. In general.
Yeah, that's crazy.
600 mana, 90 ability power, 10% cooldown, gives you everything you need.
You don't really need the mana, though. Azir's not mana hungry.
Yeah, but I mean, 600 mana is 600 mana. You get 600 mana at the beginning, you don't need to get any more mana for the rest of the game.
I don't know. I think that's a weird build.
What's the usual build on?
Like Nashor's Tooth.
Yeah, he did.
Rylai's, Morello's, Sword Shoes, Zonya's,
no one builds it, or at least it's not in the options for Azir. So you are correct, according to u.gg, which we are not sponsored by.
We are not sponsored by.
But I do use it. But yeah, that is weird, I guess. You're correct. I am wrong. I have never played Azir in my life. I don't know what I'm talking about, I guess.
That's fine.
I need to play more champ. I need to play like a bunch of random champs. I've been playing Ahri a lot lately. I haven't been winning after as much as I was at the beginning.
They need to bring back that random button.
Yeah. I missed that. Is it still in normals? Or is it just gone forever? I don't know.
I think it's gone forever.
Okay. Sad.
That was my favorite champion in ranked.
Well, game number 3 or 4 of this series was Splice's victory again. You had Kabe popping off on the Vayne, 10-2 and 8. You had the Shen top pick. We haven't seen Shen top in a while. I love it, especially as a Team Liquid fan. If Shen is in the meta, that means I am so happy, because Impact is a beast of a Shen player. And yeah, he destroyed Warlib on the Hecarim. Hecarim had no way to counter the Shen like early, I guess, in the sense that like Shen could roam a lot without, like, Hecarim had the top or the teleport, sure, but Shen can ult and then teleport back, typical Shen things. But yeah, the real thing I want to talk about in this game was Selfmade's Rek'Sai. He went 1-6, and if you look over there, there's an Infinity Edge on this Rek'Sai here. He got flamed a lot for this.
Hey, there you go.
I don't think it's a very smart pick. I do say that I think the flame was a bit. I mean, it's tough to say. It's like 90% deserved. I don't know how to explain how it's not 100% deserved, but you still deserve some flame for it, especially in a game where you're 1-6. You shouldn't probably be building Infinity. A weird build on Rek'Sai should probably just be take it up. But to be fair, if he would have gotten a kill on Kabe, if he would have gotten just one crit, he had 4 hits in a row and he didn't get a single crit on it. So it would have killed Kabe, and that would have changed that part of the game around. I believe it was right here at that. Yeah, it was at the 28-minute mark. As you can tell, they were up by 3k gold by this point, and then immediately lost the game from there. So literally one crit would have made him look kind of like a genius in the sense. So in that sense, I'm kind of glad it failed, because I don't want to see other people building it, because I think it's if anything, it is very, very situational to build this on Rek'Sai. This is not a normal build at all.
I feel like if you're gonna do that, why wouldn't you just go Storm Wraith?
I don't even know. I just don't.
Because Stormbrace's just going to give you the auto crit, right?
Does it still do that? Stormers have been updated so much I haven't even.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I think it gives you the first ones in auto crit, or maybe I don't know. Maybe it scales with something.
I just
something
think
weird.
that he wanted the extra crits on Rek'Sai for the because Rek'Sai does such absurd amount of damage, and Infinity Edge also gives a lot of attack damage as well. But this was gonna make Rek'Sai even more of a threat. I get the logic behind it. I don't get the logic behind it when you're 1-6. You if you were snowballing early on the Rek'Sai, which I mean to be fair, he got the kill early, but he was 1-1 after 10 minutes. I wouldn't really call that a snowball. But if you were up 5 kills early, then maybe I can see this, because then your job is to literally just assassinate Kabe in the back line, which was still his job in this game, but he needed to be a little beefier to do it, and he wasn't. It was a shame. And Splice did move on to the next round in this game. In SK, we said goodbye to SK, who I know they were team before, but this was nice seeing them come back first year back and still make the playoffs on it. But just got to hand it to Splice. They took care of business, and they are pretty. You definitely, in my opinion, have the best 4 teams left in EU at the moment. I know that's kind of cliche to say since they are the 4 less teams, but even at power rankings wise, these are the best 4 teams in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
So with that, since we don't have to do prediction standings or power rankings and stuff like that, we can go right straight into predictions. I don't know why I put a question on that.
I don't know either.
But the first game is going to be Fnatic versus Splice, and I don't want to count Splice out. I feel dirty doing it because of how well they played and how much we were haters of them before during the regular season. But I really, really, really like where Fnatic is going right now. I've had Fnatic as at the moment it's my second best team in the power rankings, because this is asterisk because I think G2 is still struggling. If Mickey X is still injured, I think that there's gonna be a problem on G2, a big problem, if they aren't being able to practice enough. That's the only reason I have G2 at 3 instead of the same, because they're in the pretty much the same boat as Griffin and Team Liquid, if you really think about it, and if you watch the other podcasts that we talked about. But the only reason I put G2 lower is because of it's an injury issue more so than a losing games when they don't matter issue as much. But if Mickey X comes healthy, I can easily see G2 by far being the best team again in the EU. But for the moment, I have to say Fnatic, but I think it will be much closer than what Fnatic versus Vitality will be. I'm still going to go 3-2 Fnatic, though. I can't see Splice winning this. I could.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that. I picked the 3-2. I can absolutely see Splice winning this, but I don't. My gut wants to say Fnatic. My brain is saying Fnatic. My gut wants to say Kabe can really pull out some wins for Splice, and they've been underestimated all year round. And Xerxes has been one of the best junglers in the league, so he should be able to equal out Broxa as well. But I can't do it. I just think Fnatic is just too good right now. They're too much in the zone.
Yeah, I agree with you on Fnatic winning, but I think it's gonna be more one-sided. In my opinion, I think it's going to be more one-sided, and I think Fnatic's going to 3-0 Splice.
So do you think Fnatic's going to blow out Splice more than they blew out Vitality?
No. I think the 3-0 is going to be a lot closer than the 3-0 from Vitality.
So you think Splice is going to show up, is what you're saying?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I do think Fnatic's going to 3-0 him, but I think Splice is really going to give him a run for money. Fnatic's gonna have to dig deep in all these games.
Oh man, so that's fair though. And Brian, he sent me this message. He said Fnatic 3-1. So we all have Fnatic winning, but we all have them winning a different amount. That's interesting. So if Fnatic wins, one of us will be right.
One of us will be right.
If Fnatic wins. If not, if Splice wins, then Splice can give us a big FU because we didn't pick them at all during the regular season as well. So we're just a bunch of Splice haters apparently, which is sad because I like Splice. I just I
clearly don't like what Splice is putting out.
Apparently not. Apparently I don't like it enough. Next is G2 versus Origin. Now, I teased a little bit before, I don't know the extent of Mickey X's injury. I think he's healthy enough for playoffs, but I'm just worried that they might not have been able to practice enough for it. And I think Origin's been on the rise since they beat G2 at the end of the year. So I really think this series comes down to how prepared, how many practices G2 was able to get in. If Mickey X is perfectly fine and they were able to get in a lot of practices over this week and a half, or there's been 2 weeks where they haven't had the play, right? Yeah, it's been
Thanks.
because they had a week of break, and now they've had 2 full weeks. Plus, honestly, like they don't play till Saturday, so it's really like 3 weeks that they haven't since we last saw G2. So he really should be healthy, unless it was a much deeper injury. So this makes this one very tough for me. I actually am going. I know I have Origin as my top team. I'm actually gonna go G2 3-2 because I think after 3 weeks, Mickey X should be healthy enough, and with a healthy Mickey X, I think G2 is the best team in EU. I'm worried about that pick in the sense that I have it 3-2. If I knew 100% for sure he was healthy, I would say 3-1, but I don't, and I am assuming off of just based off time that he is healthy. And I love Origin. I picked them as the best team in EU, so it sounds kind of weird coming in, but I really do think G2 can win if they're healthy. 3-2. Close series against Origin, but I think that they'll be able to get it done. Just kind of very similar to Team Liquid. What do you have, Brock?
I think I'm gonna pick G2 in this 3-1.
3-1.
Yeah.
So are you assuming Mickey X is healthy as well?
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's gonna be healthy. I think he tweeted something out the other day about playing maybe.
I really need to use social media. I don't use any forms of social media, which I know that's like a good thing nowadays or whatever. I mean, I use Reddit, which I guess is a form of social media, but like I don't use Twitter. I don't use Facebook. I don't do any of that. I need to get on it. If it's not on Reddit, I'm kept in the dark. Pretty much how it goes. But yeah, and also Brian did pick G2 3-2 as well. So I think we're all expecting a healthy G2. Where obviously they weren't healthy towards the end of the year, and I think it's the same thing for Griffin and Team Liquid for me, honestly. But yeah, if Mickey X doesn't look healthy, and if it has to have maybe after the first game like a flare up, an injury or something, he has to be subbed out. Origin's going to win this series, and Origin is going to MSI in my opinion, if that's the case. So yeah, those are our predictions though. We're all on the Fnatic and we're all on the G2 hype train. Interesting. Sorry, I just derailed them both. Sorry. Splice Origin final. Bye.
Bye.
Oh man. But yeah, that will be our podcast. It's a quick podcast. Obviously, these are going to be a lot quicker when we're not talking 10 games and we don't have power rankings and stuff like that. And predicting 10 more games. But yeah, that will be our podcast. Sorry we weren't on yesterday for LMS. Brock was quite busy, and since the LMS doesn't play until we wouldn't have been able to start the stream until about midnight, and since LMS doesn't play till next Friday, we figured, we'll just do it next Thursday then or Wednesday. So yeah, that will be our podcast for EU this week. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you Sunday for LPL, where I will be talking about Sinu Dragon's victory. Sino Dragon's victory against EDG. Please. All right, bye.
Hopefully. Bye.